Hello, and welcome back to the Rushing Winds. So, Sarah, I'm glad you got the flowers because I said, and she said, quite true, yes it is. And yeah, as far as I know, he was a great boss. So, I bet those robbers are really, really, going crazy in jail. You said it, Jamie. Well, I'm not surprised. Like, subscribe, comment down below for more. And, I can't believe that either, Sarah. Well, they thought they could get away with it. And they didn't. But, they thought they could get away with it. But they didn't, really. Typical idiot robbers. That's just plain stupid. Thinking that they could get away with it? Let's just focus on saving um saving the city. Oh, and by the way, I got a phone call that William wants to stay the night, and your boyfriend Jack wants to stay stay the night. I already said they could. Oh, well, okay. She said, that's positive. So, you know, everything happens for a reason, but anyways, I am glad that Jonas had a good life and is hopefully in a better place. Yeah, I like to think that he is, she said, Sarah said. Anyways, it was nighttime, and it was, the afternoon time by the time I got everything, figured out how many people are gonna be there and stuff at the funeral. So, a lot of people are gonna be there at the funeral. Anyway, so we had lunch. We had homemade fettuccine alfredo, and then afterwards, we heard a knock at the door. It wasn't Jay. It wasn't William. Or another person either. It was from a bookstore. And it was 2 books of the Jane Austen collection. And I opened it up and a note said, "Dear reader, I hope you find these books very lovely and insightful." And at the end it had a P.S. I hope Sarah enjoys her coffee as well. Alright. And I put the letter down. And of course I said, thank you to the young man. And I shut the door and gave Sarah her coffee and got my coffee and started sitting down on the couch and reading. I read through page 1, I passed a little bit past towards the table of contents, and man, it's all her books. Sarah, it's all 7 of her books. Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, Emma, Northanger Abbey, Love and Friendship, and another one of hers. Quite interesting. I think we'll like this book. You got a copy? Oh yeah, I got a copy. She said, just joking, I know you got a copy. She laughed. Very funny, Jamie. This certainly lightens up the situation about Jonas being gone, huh? I said, true it does. True. And I threw the packaging away after I got both of our books out. It wasn't heavy. It was just 10 to 12 pounds. Not heavy for us. But for a regular human, it would be quite a hefty book. And I looked up and I saw a thief trying to steal a woman's bag. A bag thief, yep. And I said, "Hey, Sarah." I put the book down and then she put her book down. We ran to the thief, and then I said, "Eyes up here." And then, because he was looking at my shoes, I said, "Eyes up here, eyes up here, dude." And then I punched him, and then kicked him, and then got the bag, and then ran it over to the woman. "Here you go." I handed it to her, and she said thank you, and she got out of the way, ran back home, and then Sarah punched him, kicked him, punched him in the face, and Then the cops showed up. And then they arrested him and said, "Thank you." Once again, we saw you battling him from across the road. Oh, really? Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you did. Thank you for coming so quickly. I went. And then they said, "You're welcome, Miss Summers." Miss Summers. And then we went for a walk in Central Park again. And by this time, it's the middle of September. New apartments are being built 2 blocks away from ours. And man, do they look futuristic. And we just walked for a bit and talked for a bit. And then we ran for a bit, did our little cycle around Central Park 5 times. And by the way, we can jump 4 feet, but not 5 feet. We can run 60 miles per hour, maybe faster, more like 80 miles per hour. And which is pretty much faster than a car. And, you know, but there are some things that we have to watch out for. Like new threats and stuff to the city. But since we're bionic, we can detect what's coming before it gets here. So, we walked back home, got some sandwiches for dinner, and put them in the fridge, back at our apartment. The weather was rainy by the time we got into our apartment. It looked rainy before, but now it was a downpour. "Well, is it gonna be rainy all week?" Sarah asked. "Well, maybe, because it looked a bit cloudy out there outside, you know," she said. To be continued in the 6th episode. In episode 6. Thank you for being positive. Everybody being positive. And letting me into your lives. For all you guys make my life better. So I continue to make your lives better. Stay positive, stay safe, get your walks in with your dogs or cats. And just overall have a good night's sleep. Blessed be, and good night.